What's going on, YouTube fam? We're back with another video on the channel. This time what we're doing is we're going to be working on one of my subscribers' engines. He was having a problem splitting the case. I did that off camera and I didn't record it, so kind of sucks on that. But I do have a short though up there that shows me using a blade to split the case, because the case was stuck due to using Moto Seal, right? So what we're going to do basically is we're going to take this apart. We're going to put some shims on here because what do you call it, there's some play here, as you can see here, right? You can see, like, looking at the crank. I'm not sure if you can really tell, but you can see there's moving back and forth. Oop, and you can hear it moving back and forth. So we got some I got some shims. I'm gonna go ahead and get those, and then we'll put the bottom end together, make sure that there's no play. The other thing too that I'm gonna do also is I'm gonna clean all this up, obviously, right? Get the Moto Seal on here before we even begin to play with putting this together. So I'm gonna clean this up with degreaser, which I have, and again, sorry, I lost my train of thought. Clean this all up with degreaser, get the shims, put the Moto Seal on, close the case, torque it down some, right? And then obviously move on to the rest of the stuff. I have the rest of the stuff here in this box right here. So everything will be done, a piece at a time, right? So, whoops. Move this out of the way here. So everything else in here, as you can see, we got the head and the bolts, right? Got the carb, got the head, got the intake. Got a couple other things in here as well too. I think we got the clutch in there as well. So everything else is in here. So again, we're just gonna do one thing at a time, but we'll go ahead and record all this here so you guys can see me working on one of my subscribers' engines. It is a service I do offer for any of for any of those folks who are interested. You need a rebuild on your engine. You need something checked right on it, crank balanced, whatever the case might be. So, I'm definitely available for those kind of services. But for now, like I said, this is going to be my first one that I'll start with. So enough talking with that. I'm going to go ahead and get started. I got to put a pause real quick because I forgot the shims. But again, I'm going to enough talking on this. We'll get to working. Get all this stuff cleaned up. I'll be right back. Look how easy it was to split the case, bruh. Just this little thin blade right here. Just put it right in the middle, hit it with a hammer, and just started creating a little bit of a gap. So I'm just gonna do that, right, to be able to just split it open, because you can see it already put a little gap right there. You can see. So this will be easy, man. All right, y'all. So we're back. I'm back at it. As you can see here, we have a clean case. Took off all the previous Moto Seal that was on there. Give it a nice, good little shine. It is a little bit of a use case from, again, my subscriber's engine, but I went ahead and cleaned it up as fast as I could with the degreaser. Right, so both sides are now clean. What I'm going to do is he wants the FKM seals, so I'm going to pop out these seals. They still seem to be in good shape, I think. I'm going to check them out and see what they look like. But I have some FKM seals. He also ordered some, so I'll recoup the ones that I gave him. But I'm going to swap these out, and then I'm going to pop out the bearings from the crankset as well, and I'm going to grease them up and then put them back in, because they look like they could use a little bit of grease there as well. So we're going to go ahead and do those things here to continue the build. I might go ahead and clean the crankcase as well. I'm sorry, the crankcase, the crank as well. I'm sorry, the crankshaft as well, because it is a little greasy. But once I start to put everything together, I'll get that started. So we got to put shims on here as well, because it is like I said, there is play. So we got these different shims right here. They're all different thickness. Unfortunately they weren't labeled in the thickness, but I do have my you know, digital meter, whatever, right? So I can go ahead and measure them. I'm most likely going to need the ones that are 0.5. I can't tell. I'm able to tell which ones are a little bit thicker though, just by eye. But just to be sure, I'm gonna measure. I'm gonna think. I said I think I'm gonna need the 0.5 for this here. So let me go ahead and get started on removing the seals. So as you can see here, the bearings are like a little bit yucky. I'm gonna pop them out, clean them up a little bit, right, and then put them, get them with grease again. Hit them up with grease again. All right, guys. So again, I got the bearings all greased up now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and tap these bearings back into the case, right? So as I've said before, I usually just like to use a socket and then just hit the bearing on the outside and then just let it go all the way in. And just let it go all the way in, just like that, huh? So now we have it in. It's all the way flush on this side. It's all the way flush here. Can't go in anymore. I'll double check just to be sure. I'll put it on this side and then we'll hit it a little bit more. And we're in. So that's that, right? We're in. So, oh, there you go. Yep, we're in as flush as we can be. And there we have it. So that's that one. And then we'll go ahead and do this one here. This one, I need to tap it in evenly there. All right. So then you can go ahead and do the same thing here. Oh. Looks like that went in pretty easily there. So there we go. All right. All right. Both bearings are now in. Right, everything is spinning beautifully. This bearing here, or is obviously sealed, so it should have grease. Shouldn't have anything. Shouldn't have any problems with any grease. The clutch is in there, so the clutch is over here. So we will take that out later and deal with that later. Right. For right now, now that I have this prepped here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play with these shims so I can see which one I need. Now, looking at these here, this looks like it's the thickest of one. These are really thin. That feels really thin. Yeah, this looks like the thickest of them all. So I have my little meter. Excuse me. I have my meter, so I'm gonna. These should be 0.5, and they look pretty. They look like a 0.5. Let's see. So what do we have here? Yep. 0.5, as you can see right there, right? So we're gonna use this here. We're gonna use 2 of these here. We're gonna see just how the crank, how much play there is side to side with these 2 shims here. See if we can eliminate it. We might need to maybe use two on each side. I mean, I could have just, I didn't really, I think 0.5 is going to be fine though, because I think it's about a millimeter more. It's like about a millimeter or 2 of play, so we'll see. We'll see here. Let's put it to the test here. So we have to go this way because the intake is this way. All right, so now this goes like this, and this goes like this. Nope, that goes there. And here we go here. So now let's put this together like so, and then let's see. Look at that. No play whatsoever now. But I think I almost used too big of a shim. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, look at that. No play whatsoever. Play is all gone. So a 0.5 millimeter shim is wouldn't be what we needed to be able to eliminate the play and still keep a smooth crank movement, as you can see there, right? Still have a crank, still have smooth crank movement, even with that 0.5 millimeter shim in there. So definitely that's what we needed. And we're gonna go ahead and work on closing this all up. Right now I'm gonna just close it up without the crankcase, because like I said, I've never put one of these together. So my only concern is like fucking what bolts are with what fucking bolts go where, dude, because like, you know, I mean, I can kind of guess at some of this stuff. Alright, y'all, so now I'm moving on to doing the motor seal, right? Well, like I said, the case has been cleaned, the shims have been tested out. I ended up going with a 0.3 millimeter shim that removes the play after I got this all tightened out and everything, right? So now I'm gonna get to the part of assembling the case, right? We're gonna motor seal it, let it sit for a minute, assemble it, let it sit for 24 hours, really torque it down after that, right? And then start to put everything together. So really I should have this all set and done, you know, by tomorrow, to have this all, what do you call it? Oh shit, let me start over with this here. I should have this all said and done tomorrow, with it being assembled and all that stuff, right after I let it cure and all that. But first, make sure I take this all off and don't fucking fuck up here. Alright, here we go. So, make sure we run a continuous bead of this shit across here. I'm trying to put too much of this stuff here. Holy crap. Alright, so I'm gonna put a little bit too much, but I'm gonna smooth this out here. I got my glove on so I can smooth this out. Let me fix this fingertip real quick here. Alright. I'm gonna go to the other side now. See if I can do this side a little bit better. I'm gonna put too much like I did that in this other one here. Okay, there we go. So let's do a little bead there, okay? Let's do a continuous bead here. Alright, that's a little better, so get this spread out there. You really should use a brush, but I mean with the finger I'm creating a good little layer of it on here as well, so making sure I dab it on here. Clean up the excess that we don't need to the side here. Sure we get all this stuff covered here. So we got our Permatex on there. I'm gonna let it sit for a minute, as it says to do. It says to allow it to set for a minute there before you assemble it. It says to use normal torque settings, but I usually just do it like, maybe 3/4 of the torque settings, and then do the rest after the 24-hour cure period. So I'll probably end up doing that. Let this sit for a minute here. Oh shit. Gonna need to go from the inside here and clean this up here. I don't want to take any off from the outside there. Oh shit. Oh, I see there's like a little stopgap there. I didn't realize that. Okay. Alright, so I'd say it's been about a minute, but we'll give it a little bit more time here. Alright guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and start putting this together now, because it's about dry. Anyway, it's been about a minute on both sides there, so should be okay to, whoa, look at that. Should be okay to put this together. Like I said, I'll clean all this stuff up. It leaked a little bit on the sides of the case there, but I think a little wipe down can't fix. Wipe that down there. Make sure any little spots here get wiped down. Alright, so let's go ahead and whoa. We got our shim on here, we got our shim on here. Let's go ahead and get this puppy put together. There we go. There we go. Right, so we are going to let that mate there. Oh shit, I put this the wrong way. I wanted to kind of get this put the other way there. There we go. Alright, so off we go, right? We're gonna put this here together. Where is my tool? I put everything away. So let's go ahead and get this put together here. I don't want to make any movements. I just want to keep this where in its place here. Alright, so now we got that one. Let's go ahead and do this one here. Just hand tight it, just tight there, just a little bit tight, nothing too crazy for right now. I mentioned we'll get this all cleaned up too. There's obviously some excess stuff here that will get cleaned up. Clean up the excess here. Clean up the excess from the piston. There's going to be a tidbit of excess in the case that we'll clean up. Alright, there we go. Alright, so we're all done there, cleaning off the excess there. So we have the case. Whoa, actually we're not done cleaning off the excess. Got the bottom of the case here. Alright, this is a dirty ass towel. Okay. So, now we'll put this together. Right. Put this all together. And then we'll have the case all put together. We go there. And we go there. So these are not being torqued any more than just the hand type for right now. And then after 24 hours, after it all cures better, then I'll tighten it down more. Just because I prefer for it to be like fully cured before I fully tighten it down. Alright. Just get these hands here. Okay. And just see as we tighten these more, cause a little bit of more of a extra excess. So we'll keep cleaning off the excess. Alright, so we got this all clean. Alright. All the Permatex is off. Got this all nice and clean. Got this all assembled. So what we're gonna do is we can actually go ahead and start putting some of the stuff in, right? Like at least I can put the clutch in. I'll put the clutch in. Oopsie daisy. I'll put the clutch in. I can put the ignition in and all that. Just things that I'm not gonna obviously put the baskets on. I can put the small gear on, obviously. Interesting though, like this is what's cool is that these cranks here apparently use special keys. I have a 46 RDM non-weighted crank coming, but check out these keys. Like I don't know if you guys can see here, but supposedly like this is one key. And then like that's the other key. I think this is a key. Like it looks like one. The hell if I know if it's one though. But these are the only two keys that I have for this cat. And the slots on these Like on these cranks, like a lot different than normal, right? Whoops. So I don't know, but you can see here, it's a weird looking key. So I don't know, but I'm gonna keep going at it. I'm gonna put this in right now. Should just slide in here. All right, let's see here. Should just pop in here. We're almost there. Almost there. Sorry, I didn't mean to go down like that on you guys. But we're almost there with the bearing there. It's not quite there yet. I think it's a good one a little bit more, because you can see here how this bearing is all the way in there like that. So I know that one can go in more, I imagine. I don't think that's all they can do. So actually here, let's do this, because I do have this piece of wood right here. Let's see. I think that might be it. What's up, Whisper? So I got everything put together. I'm just letting the motor seal dry. It needs like a 24-hour cure time really for it to be torqued down. Real, these are only like hand tight, so they're not all torqued down. I'm gonna stop right here just to let everything cure. Right, let the motor seal cure. Everything is good though. I cleaned up all the excess that was there. All the excess motor seal when I assembled the case, right? So got the magnet on here. Got the case all cleaned up, as you can see. Oh shit. Got the magneto on there too. Got the magnet, got the magneto. So I'll continue this this weekend.